Okay, welcome everyone. We are here for the World of Tanks miniatures game Wave 10 unboxing and reveal. We have been through the stats in a previous video, but today on this video we are getting
We have the models.
We have them in hand. We have I just gave you the Super Pershing.
Yeah.
And here is the Churchill I, and we've got the Nashorn. And we have the T-54. First of all, initial thoughts. What's your favourite?
My favourite, neither of the ones that I'm holding.
That's what?
Yeah, you take that one. You take that. There we go. Right, these are the ones. These are the ones that I want. The Churchill I, just because. Well, Churchill. I'm a bit of a British. I have all of the British World of tanks, and this one will just finish off nicely. And it's a nice little customisable tank.
Yes, we discovered during the stats reveal video that the Churchill I is best for upgrades. Really powerful for upgrades.
Yeah, and then, if you want a cheap, heavy tank, it's a really good way to go. And the
T-54.
The T-54.
That was our favourite, wasn't it?
This thing is just ridiculously...
It was a beast.
Yeah, it's ridiculously good in-game. It's got the best stats of any tank that's been out. And it's the first tank that they've released that is post-war.
Yes.
And is actually still in service in some countries today.
Not doing very well, though.
No. It's very outdated.
Very outdated now.
It's for those poorer countries that can't afford good tanks. But it is still in service in places.
Right, so before we go into any unboxing, I want to cover something that is glaringly obvious to anyone holding one of these boxes right now. Right, and that is, it's heavy.
Wonder how much heavier it is.
It's bigger. The boxes are bigger. Can anyone see this? They're bigger. Now, I'm going to switch over to another camera so that we can show you a closer look of the actual box itself and what it shows. So we have here...
Actually, do this one because there's a particular card in there that makes it...
Oh, I'm not unboxing yet.
Oh, no.
But we have here the Churchill I, as normal. I'm going to turn it on its side for you, everyone, to see. How many upgrade cards do we have in there?
A lot.
Right. Have a look at that. Includes cards for these languages. So we've got Polish, German, France, and England. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is basically what I wanted to talk about first. I twigged onto this quite quickly. Has anyone ever played Flames of War and wanted to use your tanks in World of Tanks? Well, to be honest, now this has opened this up.
Yeah.
Now they're for a few issues, and Puff, you came up with an idea of what people could do with the additional cards.
Yeah, you've got the English version, so you can just have multiples of that card. Yes, it might be in a different language, but you know what it says because you've got the translation right there.
And previously?
Previously, you could photocopy them, laminate them, and make your own. Now you've got actual, official, multiple cards.
And it's all symbol-based. This game is symbol-based. So you don't need to be able to read the card because you know what the symbols are. There's a few ways of doing this. Like Puff said, you can have additional tanks that you might be able to buy on Flames of War and then use the additional tank cards in there. Or if you can find a business that's willing to buy and sell cards, which we might look into doing, is we could sell all of the English cards from the Polish players, the German players, and the French players, and then resell them over here. And vice versa. There might be companies out in those countries that are willing to do the same. So this opens it up for getting additional tank cards that we've not been able to do yet. And I can't wait to see what everyone does.
It would probably encourage a lot of trading as well.
Yeah.
Literally people are like, has anyone got the German version of this? I've got English and French available.
Yeah.
We'll happily swap.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of thing. And you'll get that kind of thing happening.
Yes, sadly there isn't Spanish. It could well be that they have 2 European versions. They have one where it's basically the Spanish is the main language because
Like
it's
a different
different regions.
Yeah.
It might well be that the game is more popular in Poland than it is in Spain.
They might
And
have
therefore, that they've just literally gone for the 4 languages that
they've been
I know there is a
They
lot.
basically
There is a
sell to
lot
the
of
most.
Polish players. I know that. I've seen them on the Discord. It could also be that these 4 languages are the most spoken languages of the players in the UK as well. So it could well be that they're accommodating to more languages within their demographics where it sells.
Yeah.
The thing as well that I have noticed is probably one of the biggest markets for painting miniatures is Spain. There is a lot of very talented Spanish painters out there. I'm not quite sure that relates to game playing though. There's a lot of the Spanish contingent of people that buy miniatures to paint. They mainly do it just for the painting side of things. They don't actually game that much.
Right. Well, to be honest, that's obviously anecdotal.
Yeah.
Right.
I've heard that there are a lot of incredibly talented Spanish painters
Yes,
out there.
I've seen some very talented Spanish.
And I've heard from them that it's more of a painting thing over there.
What I will have to stress, this box having the 4 languages in there was not informed. We were not informed about it.
No, we found out about it when we opened the box.
So we do not know if there is different regions, them selling for different languages. It could well be that if you go and buy the box in Spain, you get a Spanish language card plus 3 other European languages.
Essentially, yeah.
So you need to take this as face value. We don't have the full picture.
No.
So please don't say. Please don't get us wrong. We're not saying these are the only languages. We're just saying these are the only language we have.
Yeah. It might well be that the ones that they're sending to other countries, there's like another 4 languages.
Yeah, you could have Spain,
that don't
French,
include
German,
English.
Yes.
Polish.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't have the English.
Right. So we're at the point now where, to be honest, we need to open these boxes.
You need to open the box. I can see your eyes bulging.
Of course.
It's like
It's just. All right. So are we doing Churchill I first?
Yes.
Looks like
Yeah,
okay.
that is one because there's a particular card in there that makes this very desirable. The fact that you'd get 4 copies of a particular card.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if they will come out with a rule for their tournament packs that says you can only use the language of the. But we went through
We
this,
did go
yeah.
over that because
Yeah.
you can't
Or maybe
discriminate against people.
Or maybe they will turn around and say. We'll talk more about it in a second.
Yeah.
Right. So first of all, the tank. Now there was a lot of speculation when an image was released that this could actually be a Churchill III. But that is because of a certain upgrade card that we went through the stats. But this is your tank. Let's give it a bit of zoom. There we go. I do like the Churchills.
Yeah.
They're a bit long in the tooth, but...
Yeah, well, I mean, they were very, literally, they were what landed on the beaches in the very early phases of the pushback into Europe. And there's a wonderful story about how they landed on a particular beach, and it was a shingle beach, and it wrecked the tracks of the tanks as they were driving up the beach. So they lost 3... There was 50 tanks in the original deployment. They lost 3 or 4 of them just because it was a shingle beach.
Wow, okay.
One of them fell off of the boat and into the water as they were coming in.
Right, so we are now going to look at what's in the pack. So, the code.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, the code. But to be honest, this is the one we get given from Battlefront Miniatures, so it's not too much of a hassle. So, we actually have now a nice little plastic sleeve that it all comes in.
Do they do World of Tanks?
I'm not sure if there is a World of Tanks sleeve official.
You can probably get sleeves of that size. There are probably other games that use...
but as in, again, it's something they're potentially missing out on. Because
So the Churchill one, we've got 4 tank cards. How awesome's that? Right, let's because I'm an English speaker. I need to get to the English card, sadly.
But as we pointed out, there's not a lot of actual English on there that you need to read.
No.
Because most of the information you need on there is all symbols and numbers.
Yeah.
And so it's quite... And everybody, at a glance of these cards that has played the game for any length of time, they know what all those symbols mean. They know... The only thing you might have an issue with is the name of the different crew types.
If you're seasoned with it, it doesn't matter.
No.
If you're new to it, then yeah, fair enough. But you have what you need.
Right.
And this opens up either... What you will find is that there will be people selling on eBay the cards that they can't read and maybe buying more of the cards
Yes.
that other people are selling from other countries that they can't read.
Yes. Right, so Churchill I, we'll quickly go over the stats. It's 33 points, really cheap. For a heavy tank, that is really nice. High explosive, 4 firepower, 2 survivability, 1 mobility, 4 initiative, and 6 hit points and 5 crew slots. Nice. 2 gunner slots, which really helps.
Yes.
And that's most likely because it's got 2 guns, even though it can only shoot once.
Yeah, although the only the very early Mark 1s had that front gun. They actually replaced that with a machine gun later on.
Yeah. So yeah, it is. Yeah, we like this for upgrading. Shall we quickly get out the upgrade cards we get in this pack?
Because this isn't just a Churchill 1. It is also a Churchill 3.
Yes.
What the only difference between the Churchill 1 and 3 was the turret. They changed the turret.
Right, so there's 5 upgrade cards as normal, as per what you would expect. And the first one here is the Quickfire 2-pounder Mark 10. So that's a Churchill 1, increases free initiative, increases the initiative, loses high explosive, and gains arrow shot. Okay, next we've got the Churchill 3 turret. So this is what basically the reason why it looks like a Churchill 3, the tank. +1 initiative, cost of 2.
I don't think we need to go over the stats of every card.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
I'll just quickly show them.
Yeah. And you've got the Vickers HV gun, which takes away the... both of the guns take away the basically the high explosive howitzer.
But the +1 firepower is really cool.
It is really good. Right, this is the one I actually want to touch on a little more in depth, because the fact this is quite the meta card. This is quite an important card to the game in general. And the fact that this tank is essentially packaged with 4 copies of this card.
Yes. Now, let's quickly address that. There's a glare and I don't like it. Right, I'm just going to change the camera's position, everyone. There we go. Right. Let's quickly address that. That almost makes this unfair, because there's the same cost. We actually, in this game, you can class these upgrade cards as a form of currency, because these upgrade cards dramatically change the way the game is played. Now, if you're given 3 cards for free, that's a problem.
I don't think it is.
It's still fair, isn't it? Anybody could buy that tank and get those 4 cards.
It's fair because everybody that buys that tank gets that.
What it's done is it's reduced the rarity of that card, therefore smashing out any value from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now
it
now
would
it's
be
not
interesting
working.
to see what you, the public watching right now, think about this. If you do have an opinion on this, please leave it in the comments below.
If anything, it diminishes the value of certain other tanks that were previously packaged with that card, such as the King Tiger.
Yes.
Where you've
Tiger
actually experienced this from a retail's perspective, people buying multiple copies of the same tank.
Yes.
Just so that they could get multiple copies of that card. People now don't need to do that.
No, they definitely don't need to do that. And it is going to be interesting. I do think that the Churchill one, because of this, we will sell out of it.
Yeah, it's going to be very desirable just because of that card. It's an okayish tank. It's not game breaking anyway, but it's a really nice little customizable tank. But just the fact it comes with that card and 4 copies of it, essentially, admittedly, they're all in different languages, but they are the official card.
Yeah, they are the official card, and as long as you keep the
As long as you have one on hand for people to say, right, what does that do? I
that
can't
you're playing in.
Yeah.
As long as you have the card on hand of the language of the event that you're playing in, there shouldn't be a problem.
No, because it is the card. It does.
Now, the reason why we say there shouldn't be a problem is because if you start saying, no, you can't use that because that's a German card, that's a French card, then you're discriminating against people who speak that language. There could well be someone turning up to your event who comes from Germany, that
only
their
has the German
primary
cards.
language is German and are very poor English. You should not discriminate against that player. So therefore, you can't discriminate against other people using German cards.
At the same time, you could have someone that knows all the languages.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just perfectly fine.
Yeah,
They
literally,
understand
somebody,
every language.
somebody can be fluent in all of those languages quite commonly, in fact.
Yeah. So it would be really interesting to see what everyone's opinion on this is. So please leave your thoughts in the comments below.
I know a little bit of German anyway. So
So here's the thing. So if you were to buy that kit and you were like, cool, I don't need the other languages of these cards, I'm happy to trade them for some English ones, right? And if you were to advertise those cards, which ones are which? Because
you would need to. I would use like Google Translate. Yeah.
It doesn't label. Like,
I must admit, yes, it hasn't got on here what language it is, unless you know what language it is.
yeah, I don't actually know which one the Polish is.
you can figure it out.
You can figure it out. There's certain.
That's German.
It's good they've not actually gone. This is German.
Yeah,
Because
but
the
there
German-speaking
are people
person-
that will look at it and go,
Yeah.
What's somebody been writing in dingbats again? I don't know.
Right. Okay.
Otherwise, they'd have to put on the UK one. This is
Yeah.
English.
Right. So, shall we do this one next?
Yeah.
Nashorn, everyone.
This is one I don't think we covered in great detail. It kind of got swept under the rug by all the others. All of the others had something really special about them, but this was just another tank.
Okay, right, so let's open up the Nashorn.
Just another tank.
Let me just quickly clean away the Churchill goodiness. And let's get out the German Nashorn. This has basically got the body of the Hummel.
Yeah, it's essentially the same chassis, I believe.
I think the gun's a lot longer.
Oh yeah, it's an entirely different gun with an entirely different battlefield role.
So let's have a look at the tank first of all.
But from a chassis perspective, I think it is actually pretty much the same tank.
There we go. It's a nice. To be honest, I actually quite like the look of it.
It's a really nice looking tank, and it was a really effective and dangerous machine in the war itself.
Boom, bang, bang. Yep. Yeah, it's. I do like the tank. I like using the Hummel normally anyway, but the actual fact that the tank itself is a nice tank is nice.
The old Stug or Sturmgeschütz, as it was known.
Yep.
Was probably much more prevalent in the war, but that one came a bit later, and but it was to great effect.
So this is a bit different. No plastic sleeve.
Oh. Interesting.
So this one comes with a paper band, so I guess this is more environmentally friendly. Right, and
Is it a paper band? Or?
Yeah, paper band.
Yeah, they all have the paper band except the
British.
Have you got another Churchill somewhere? See if it's just the Churchill.
It might be. I'll have a look. Right, so the Nashorn. Here is the tank stat card. If you've been waiting for an official live copy, here it is now. You can take a screenshot. Yes, Nashorn, look at that. 37 points for 6 firepower, 5 hit points, 2 mobility, 3 initiative. Yes, survivability is 0, but...
Yeah. I mean, it's actually a really good tank. It's a really good option. And up until now in the game, the Germans haven't had, apart from the Jagdtiger, they haven't had a decent tank destroyer that's low costed.
Yeah, because obviously you've got the tank destroyer, therefore you've got your additional cover bonus.
Yeah. You had the Stug, which was a bit and you had the Jagdtiger and nothing in between.
Yes. So yeah, to be honest, I really like this one. and I see this being quite a popular one to be used for if anyone fancies.
It's a good tank, and I would run this in lists.
Yes. Now on to the multitude of cards for this. Here we go.
Yeah, we won't go in depth because
there's too many to do.
Yeah, no, and we've already done that in the previous video. If you go to the Galforce 9.
It's on the Galforce 9 website.
Yeah, if you scroll to Wave 10 right at the bottom, there's a link to our previous video there.
Yep. Right. We've got the unique crew member there. 6 points, repair, and 6 cents.
I mean, 6 cents on any named crew for 6 points is really good because 6 cents costs 6 points on its own. So any named crew that comes with 6 cents and another ability for the same cost, it's literally... If you're going to run 6 cents on a German tank, you use that card.
Radio operator, 1 point for an extra initiative. Fine. When this is destroyed, all other tanks in this. Hold on a second, I didn't read that right then. When this tank is destroyed, all other tanks in this platoon gain 1 initiative in that phase. Yeah, okay.
It's a previous card. We've seen it before. But the camouflage net is interesting because previously the only way to get it in the main set.
Yeah, in the main set.
You got that in the main set, so if you wanted more than one copy of that...
You had to buy the main set.
You had to buy multiple copies of the main set, so...
Which makes this tank quite appealing.
Yeah.
Especially since you now get 4 of the cards.
Yeah, so you get 4 camouflage nets in this one pack, and that's really good.
Yeah. Right. And gun rammer. 1+ during the shooting phase for 2 points. I mean, that's just really, really low cost extra initiative.
Yeah, if you've got spare 2 points, then you want that extra initiative, you just run it on there.
And this can be used on the Jagdpanther and the Nashorn. Now, the Jagdpanther is a tank that's not out yet.
No.
So we are waiting for the Jagdpanther to be released.
So we know it's coming.
No, there was another card previously that had Jagdpanther noted on it.
I think it was an engine.
How long do you think till the Jagdpanther?
The next wave is in 2 months' time.
Yeah. It's quite unusual, though, that we haven't had any rumblings about what that is. Usually at this point, ahead of another wave, we've usually heard something.
I will get on with my trade rep and we will find out.
Yeah.
Because, yes, I ask, they tend to tell.
Yeah.
So there we are. That is the Nashorn.
As long as we don't abuse that privilege.
No, we do a fair analysis of this stuff, and
it's really hard for me as well because I'm like on the World of Tanks Facebook group and things like that. Because when you've then told me like some of the information ahead of time, and I'm like, people are then speculating. I'm like, I really want to correct them, and I can't.
Yeah. So, and these tanks will be out this Saturday. So that is the 25th of February, because obviously people could be watching this video after the fact. So it's the 25th of February, 2023 is when the World of Tanks miniatures game Wave 10 will be released. Now we are going to unbox now the Super Pershing, the Super Pershing. This is the American tank. Now, the actual tank itself, the design, of it, I actually... focus up. Wow, that is taking its time.
There we go.
Sorry about that. I might just put that on fixed focus now. Right. Yes, I actually really like this bit here. This, shielding.
Do you know the reason for that?
Isn't it so that they didn't scratch it coming out of the factory?
Actually, you're not far off. Basically, what happened with this was that they put this into production, but it wasn't ready in time for the main conflicts. So what they did was they actually sent over to the front line the prototype.
Right.
The one prototype. But they were so worried about them losing that one tank that as soon as they got it, the first thing they did was they bolted a load of extra armour to it. They literally just got loads of plate steel and we need to add more armour to this because we're worried about it getting blown up. And then they never committed it to any major engagements. It's only ever reported to have blown up one tank, which probably wasn't even a Tiger. There's conflicting reports. It was probably a Panther. But, yeah, the thing is, they say it blew up a Tiger, but apparently it was nowhere near where any of the Tiger deployments actually were. So, but yeah, the reason for that design choice is literally because they were scared of it getting damaged before they got the main shipment of the rest of the tanks, which didn't come over in time. So, and they ended up being obsolete by the time that they would have been committed to a battlefield. So they ended up just sitting in a training yard.
So the Super Pershing coming in for the Americans is the T-26E4. It is a medium tank coming in at a massive 84 points. What do we get for those massive 84 points? We get light flank, which doesn't ring true to what we've just heard.
Well, no. Literally, it was because they only up-armoured the front.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it does actually make sense from that perspective.
Firepower 6, survivability 3, mobility 2, initiative 4, hit points of 8 and 5, crew slots. Hit points of 8 is nice.
Yeah, as we said previously, this is pretty much the exact same stat line and exact same cost as the Tiger II, except it's a medium tank and it has light flank, so it's actually slightly worse.
Yes, it is slightly worse.
But for the same cost. But if you just run
American,
this is the best tank you have.
Now the difference between the Pershing and the Super Pershing, I've got the card here, is I've got it here.
Yeah, we covered this in great detail.
Yes, we did.
Basically, the Pershing is more effective for the cost.
Yes, you do gain a survivability for the Super Pershing, but you lose an initiative. But that difference in, you do gain a hit point for the Super, but it costs you an additional 13 points out of your platoon allowance.
Yeah, I don't think the extra 13 points is
worth
it when you can run a Tiger for the same points as this that is better.
Yes. Right, now, moving quickly on, we'll get the cards out. So, yet again, we get 4 cards of each of them. Seth Douglas. Designated Target. Mentor. So far, the only one that's new is Seth Douglas. Smooth Ride. We've seen Smooth Ride before.
Yep.
And Improved Rotation Mechanism. That is one that has only recently been in a Wave 9 or 8 tank.
Yeah, it was in a couple actually. It was in the. It was in the American and German tank from that wave.
Yeah.
So the improved rotation mechanism is worth it on its own. If you really like this, then the fact that you're getting the improved rotation mechanism with it, which actually does make an extra point in the Super Pershing's favour, because you can't use the improved rotation mechanism on the Tiger II. Because it's only available for mediums.
Mediums, SVGs, and tank destroyers.
Yeah, and the Tiger II, as we know, is a heavy.
Yes. Right, so moving on now to our last and final tank from the Wave 10 reveal. And in our opinion, the best tank.
Game-bustingly good, almost.
Yes. Right, this is the Russian T-54. And it is a beast. It literally is.
Absolutely.
So we'll get down to it.
It's the second most expensive tank in the game, and to my mind is also the best tank in the game.
Yes.
He says the first post-war tank that they've done.
Yes.
So is this basically signs of this is where it's heading?
I think so, maybe.
I mean, there's only so many World War II tanks.
Yeah. But on the flip side of that, this tank actually pushes the upper limits of the stats of the current game mechanics. So this is literally at the upper level of what.
So say you can't just keep making them.
Yeah, you can't just keep making them better and better and better. You could, I mean, you'll end up with like firepower 10 tanks at one point, and it's not feasible game.
We believe there will be a.
Like a version 2.
There'll be basically your Cold War era version,
which I guess you probably have a different just a different.
It'll be
set
all
of
the
waves.
same game. It'll be
mechanics,
game mechanics, but it'll just be they lower the stats.
Yeah. The tiering system, because they do actually have tiers.
Yeah.
Because it's based on the World of Tanks computer game, and there's a tiering system for the tanks. They do actually post the tiers that they belong to on the stat cards.
Right.
At the moment, there's nothing in the game that uses that stat. So at some point,
They might bring that into it.
yeah,
as well.
they might utilise that in some
And
way.
then I've seen in some of your events that you do as well that you have tier X only. I've seen that. Ooh,
Got caught on that.
yeah.
It's not nice. They wrapped the
was very
paper a
tight.
bit tight, and it bent the card slightly, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So T54, look at the cost of that.
Yeah, 105. It's the second most expensive one. The only one more expensive is the Yag Tiger at 107.
Yes.
But
it is
that comes with a Firepower 7 base.
a medium tank. This is it, guys. A medium tank. You're re-rolling that hit. 6 firepower, 3 survivability, 6 initiative. Its initiative is high.
Yeah.
Mobility 3, 8 hit points, and 4 crew slots.
Yeah. So your Firepower 6, that's at the top end. There's only 1 or 2 tanks that have higher than that. Mobility 3, that is the highest of any tank. The Survivability 3, once again, that's at the high end. There's only 1 or 2 tanks that have higher than that on their base stat. And hit points 8, I think the Yag Tiger comes in at 9.
I think.
Yeah, and that's it. Other than that, that is the highest of that stat. The initiative is middle. It's
Yes.
for everything else being at the top, having that initiative stat in the middle, which is easily buffable.
Yes, that's the reason why it's in the middle.
Yeah,
Because they didn't want this to be a tank you don't need to upgrade.
Oh no, yeah, entirely. But to be fair, this is a tank that you don't need to upgrade.
I was gonna say, yeah.
To be
base,
honest,
like you said.
literally the only thing you would upgrade is the initiative.
Yeah. The only detriment to it is the lack of crew slots. But even then, I've not run a game where I've used more than 2 or 3 different crew. I've never maxed out my crew on a tank.
I was gonna say, you're putting a lot of eggs in one basket.
Yes. Right. Well, actually, with the upcoming the way they're running the new leagues, if you will, the new battle packs and stuff like that, you will want to max out your crew slots. So we've got a unique crew, Deadeye. We've got Turbocharger.
Which is really good combined with the improved rotation
Yeah,
mechanism.
like it is really good.
It's really good.
You can use this on every single tank.
Yeah, but you get an extra bonus using it on a medium.
Yes, which on the 4 points to add 3 initiative to the T54.
Yeah, so that's taking your initiative to 9, which is already at the high end for only an extra 4 points.
Yeah. It is nuts. It is, the turbocharger is good, and actually, I'm not sure if the turbocharger is available. Isn't it only available in one other tank?
There's only a couple that 1 or 2.
Fuel tanks with
I know of.
CO2, and there is a unique engine upgrade, engine module upgrade, unique for the T54, and that is the V14 engine module, and it adds 2+ initiative during the movement phase for a cost of 3.
Yeah, so for an extra 7 points, you're adding
5 to,
you're adding 5 to its movement initiative.
that's powerful. That's 11 points.
Yeah.
11 initiative, that is.
Yeah, it's ridiculously good, and
Yeah.
you're going to see a lot of the. Admittedly, you can't run a lot else with it in your standard 200-point game, but you don't need a lot else.
We're gonna
Maybe
we're gonna
some
see.
of
Yeah.
Yeah, even if you were just sticking to this wave,
and some Nashorns.
couple of Nashorns, yeah,
they just start about
and you're off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're glass cannons. They're gonna pop, but if that T54 is not getting whittled down,
Yeah, the thing is,
it's just gonna be
either he's drawing all the fire away from your artillery.
He's,
Yeah,
he's
that's-
sponging, or
that is the danger.
Yeah, or if they leave it,
if you don't get
not gonna-
those glass hammers
Yeah.
killed,
yeah.
then you're opening yourself up to just get absolutely obliterated.
But that tank is too good
Yeah,
to
to leave
ignore.
alone.
yes,
If you're
I
not-
know.
You can't ignore it.
It's you really got
lose-lose.
you've got a tough
Yeah.
you've got a tough decision to make.
You've got to hope that your rolls are good and their rolls are bad,
Yep.
and you position well.
So there is this wave is a really interesting wave. Most of the tanks are really sought after, really ones you want to get into your army. The Super Pershing is a bit of a lackluster release, but we can understand that.
And it's a real shame because it's the one when we saw them without knowing what any of the stats were. It was the one that I was the most excited about.
And the T-54 coming up there with quite basically, it is a beast, and it's the one that I see most people wanting to run. And that Nashorn is one that has that, as we just said, the glass hammer ability. So you need to be careful of it because it can do a lot of damage. And then the Churchill I, it is designed to be upgraded. So if you are a fan of upgrading, Churchill I is one you want to get. All of that said, with just the release of Wave 10, then they give us the extra language cards.
Yeah.
This is a big moment in World of Tanks. Let's hope they keep this trend up.
And every one of those tanks has a card in it that you want multiple copies of.
Yes.
And a sought after card. You got the turbocharger, you got the improved rotation mechanism, you got the camo netting, and the improved hardening. Each of those tanks has one card in it that it's really nice to have 4 copies of.
Yes. So it is. This is a really good release, and I'm so glad it is. It's finally here. There is more to come from Battlefront Miniatures Gale Force 9 for the World of Tanks miniatures game. We are going to see the faction-specific starter packs come in I think it is April time.
I'm really interested to see what's it, because we've seen the German one. What's in the German one?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it might be the Stug-3, the
Tiger one,
and
a Panzer 4.
Panzer 4, yeah, something like. We could be completely wrong. That's completely off.
No, I'm pretty sure that's correct. So.
But there is one starter box coming for each faction, and there will be more waves this year, and there is going to be in all likelihood a new version of the game at some point.
And we're still waiting because they teased something as part of their sort of New Year's rule that they were releasing a tank that they never thought they would release.
Yes, so
I'm really interested to know what that might be.
Are we seeing a tank that they just said, no, we can't do that? Or are they doing a non-real tank?
Yeah, they might be doing an entirely made-up tank. Because in the World of Tanks game...
Sorry?
Have they done that in the miniature game yet?
No.
But in the computer game they have.
Yeah. In the computer game there is... How are they numbered? Is it NR, not real? There's like letters before...
No, there's like a faction that is outside of like one of the like they've done the Space Marine Space Marine Predator and Vindicator in the game.
No, that's not what I'm trying to get at. Is they normally call it like a fake tank FT 25 or something like that.
A lot of them just have like made up names.
Okay, fair enough.
One of my favourite ones is just called the Grave Digger.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So at what point do they make a World of Tanks miniature 40k Vindicator?
Yeah, I don't think. I'm not sure.
They're licensed to do it with.
They're licensed to do it with the games. So
no, I get that.
So I wonder if it would ever happen here, whether GW would allow it.
I would say that might be a bridge too far.
Yeah,
I don't know.
If you pardon the pun.
Yeah, it's a different scale.
I don't know if they start releasing tanks for Adeptus Titanicus, there'd probably be a similar-ish scale.
No.
So like Baneblade and that.
I still think they're too big.
I don't know. It wouldn't be far off, I don't reckon.
No, I reckon they're still too big.
Nah.
AT&T is tiny.
Right. Okay.
It's not that small.
We're on something else.
Yeah. A Warlord Titan's not different from a Knight.
Guys.
Back on track.
I'll need to cut all this.
No, you don't. Wild speculation.
So that is the reveal of Wave 10, and it is an absolute killer. I love this wave. I do think we're going to sell out of most of the tanks, so they are available for pre-order right now. So get on to griffingaming.co.uk to pre-order, and they are in shop now. All of our stock is here. We can ship it out today, so don't miss out on that. Stay tuned on YouTube. Please do remember to get that subscribe button clicked and that bell notification so you are told when our next videos are coming up. You won't be disappointed. We're going to be doing all the world exclusives for Gale Force 9 and Battlefront miniatures on the World of Tanks miniatures game in the future. So please just keep coming back. Click that like, share, because you won't be disappointed. This is the place to be. Thank you very much, everyone. I have been Brendan Mills from Griffin Gaming. This is Ian from twitch.tv/Gus Hut, and with me is Puffmaster. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Right, guys, that was for the YouTube.
That was just for the YouTube
that was
people.
For the YouTube.